Hey sports fans, welcome to another exciting edition of Torah Talk. I'm Levi Ben Abraham with Rabbi Rabs, and I noticed on your Facebook this week that you posted that your parents are convinced that you're gay.
Wow, let's just dive right into that.
Are you okay with this?
Hey, first of all, introduce me. This is Rabbi Rabs.
Hey,
folks,
Rabbi
how's it going?
You okay if we?
Yeah, that's fine.
We explore that tender issue and
yeah, but can I use the football? Because I was watching one of your videos this week.
Yeah,
and you're like all intense with the football.
Well,
you were like talking like this.
Yeah,
you know.
So how long have your parents been convinced you're gay since they caught you with the pool boy?
Okay, here's how it works.
Yeah.
See, because I'm not married.
Really?
No, I'm not married. I've never been married.
Okay, that's true.
And so I'm 50.
When was the last time you had sex with a woman?
None of your business.
Okay. No judgment?
So
I'm okay if you're gay, that's fine with me.
Here's the deal on my parents.
As soon as I met you, I thought, he's gay.
That's what I thought about you.
I thought you were more gay.
Really? Oh, this is like one of that show, like.
You know why I know you're gay?
Oh, I know what it was. It was the
40-year-old version.
The 40-year-old version where they're sitting around playing that video game, and they're like, "No, you're so gay."
Yeah.
All right. Hey, you're hiding the chat room members. Okay, so what happened is like this. So, hit the viewers so I can see the fourth person is.
There are only 3 viewers.
Oh, it said 4.
Yeah. So why are your parents convinced that you're gay?
Because I'm not married yet. That's it. That's the whole thing. It's that they don't understand how it could be that a 50-year-old guy could still not be married, right? I've never been married and I'm 50, so like something's wrong here, right? So, especially with the fact that, you know, I'm frum and everything, and then there's such heavy pressure in the frum community to get married and have kids and blah, 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 blah. So they've had so much time to think about this.
Mm-hmm.
They've had so much time to put this together, and apparently, that every time that one of my relatives visits with my parents or talks to them on the phone, or the parents visit them, or whatever, right? Whenever they're in communication, they ask one of my relatives, whether it be my sister or one of my nephews or both nephews or whatever, they ask him, "What's going on with me?" Right? And they have now. Ask more than one person if I'm gay. So in other words, this is what their conclusion has been. Yeah. All their thinking has led to this. But you can see how shallow their thinking is. Because it never would occur to them that maybe, right, I've elected not to have kids in this kids happy community, right?
Right.
And maybe since all the women in this community and all the pressures to have kids, therefore, since you're not having kids, you're going to end up being alone. That is such an easy conclusion. It only took me 10 seconds to, maybe 20 seconds, we'll find out tomorrow when I watch it, to, 20 seconds to, what's the word I want?
To come to that conclusion.
No, to explain it. Mm-hmm. It was so simple, right? But my parents, in all of their wisdom, over the last 50 years, or I guess they've probably been thinking about this probably for the last 20, right? Because, you know, up to 30, you give the guy a break.
Well, probably when they caught you dressing in women's clothing when you're just a boy, they probably figured he's a gigolo.
Yes, that's exactly what happened. So,
not that there's anything wrong with that.
No, who's judging here?
Not me.
So that's how their simple arithmetic is. You know, 20 years they couldn't think of anything deeper. It only took me 20 seconds to articulate that. And it's not a big deal to come up with. But they haven't come up, or maybe they have thought about that, but it's too painful for them to think about the fact that they, you know, fucked me up so bad in my childhood that I would elect not to want to reproduce that situation.
When are you going to release your sex tape to kind of prove your?
Oh well, this is the thing.
Yeah.
Here, I want to see who the 4 viewers are. Okay, this is. Oh, Bleb the Champ. Hey, Brett, how's it going? Hey, Malachi. Hey, Henry. And hey, what did we say her name was? Okay, we'll just call her the Aquarella. The audio is no good. Maybe the nephews are convinced. No, the nephews are not convinced. Why? Because first of all, the whole theory makes no sense. Okay, because my parents have met some of the prior women that I've dated.
Yeah, but they might be just like beards. You know, a lot of gay men have they go out with a woman to try to convince themselves and the world and their parents that they're not gay.
Okay, so we'll get to that. That's the theory we're all working with right now, because I'm very frustrated because my mom asked my nephew, you met him, Yaakov, right? You did a nice little piece with him, right?
Mm-hmm.
You had a lot of fun with him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she asked Yaakov if I had a girlfriend.
Yeah.
Which is just like a bizarre question, because I saw my parents like just a couple of months ago, and I handed them an 8x11 color photo, right, of me and Esther, and you've met her too.
Yeah, but it wasn't sexually explicit.
Right. So my parents are just thinking, well, that's just a photo. But they've met girls with me in person, so apparently they think, like, that's not good enough. We need to see more than that. So do I need to actually get married to convince them? I don't think so. Because, like you said, it could be like a Michael Jackson type of wedding where, like, he supposedly is with Elvis Presley's daughter, but then the kids who are born don't look anything like him, right?
Yeah.
They don't have his skin and all these different things, right? So I don't think my mom would be satisfied until she gets a video of me
having sex
with a woman.
Yeah.
That would convince her that they're of that. So I'm thinking, since you have experience with filming this stuff.
Yeah, but I couldn't film you because you're like my rabbi.
Okay.
And it would just weird me out, like, taking film of you.
Right. So you might have to, be in charge of filming my first sex video. Of course, it's after I get married, right? But after I get married, you're going to have to film. We're going to have to invite you into the bedroom.
You could just set up the camera and then it's just like.
Yeah. And then I could show that to
wear a cowboy hat.
Yeah, and she would have to have like a cheerleader outfit.
Well, I know you're gay because you watched the Oscars.
That is the stupid. I want you to tell everybody out there what you told me.
That I'm straight and I don't care about the Oscars.
Right. No, you said it.
But you're gay.
You said
and
because
you care
you're
about
straight.
the Oscars.
No, you don't.
Because I'm straight, I don't watch the Oscars.
The implication is that only gay guys watch the Oscars.
Basically, and swishes.
I want that out there so that everybody can pick on him at once, because I was pointing out that the number 2 most viewed show in America every year
among gay people,
amongst Americans,
American gays,
Americans who eat meat every day
and have sex with boys.
Americans, right behind the Super Bowl, we watch the Oscars. Okay.
How gay is that?
It's not gay at all, because
it's flaming.
No, the difference is, in your world, you don't go to movies every Friday night.
No, I don't. I keep Shabbos.
Right. So what you're saying, what you really want to do is say, I'm a Jewish male, I'm a Shomer Shabbos male, I don't watch movies. That would have been fine. You could have said that.
And I didn't have sex with men.
But when you make it like a gay thing, you just called every American male gay. That's what you just did. We're a society of flamers, because every Friday night, apparently all the gay guys take out their dates to the movies, because that's where everybody goes on Friday night in America, or Saturday night actually. They all go to it's like movie night, and everybody goes, and everybody knows.
I don't judge you. What did you want to say about Natalie Portman?
Oh my God, she's such a disgrace. Why do all these yentas, these Jewish women, end up embarrassing us in Hollywood? First it was what's her name, Barbra Streisand. It's like you can't watch her sing for 10 minutes without like a whole Democratic National
starting a pogrom.
No. She like starts spewing out all her politics, and it's like, shut up, cunt.
Whoa!
Yeah, that's.
Whoa, the C word.
Wow.
Is that because you watch a lot of pornography and that's desensitized you, and so you use that kind of language and think it's acceptable? It's like, oh yeah, I see. My role models, and they use the C word, so I'm just gonna like whip it out in Torah talk just to prove I've been on those internet sites, try to show that I'm hetero.
Yeah.
Call women the C word.
When you're done, are you done?
Yeah.
Okay. So last night, Natalie Portman, who I'm not a big fan of because
she's a woman, she's got a vagina. If she had a penis, she'd be all over it.
Can I ever talk without being interrupted with stupidity?
Nah. Sorry, go ahead.
okay, you know her story. First of all, she was in the IDF. She's Israeli. She was in the IDF, and she's one of these. Instead of her being a chance for us to finally have a pro-Israel Jew or a pro-Israel voice in Hollywood, she turned out to be the opposite. She's such a disgrace. She's like, Israel's at fault. And every time that whatever comes out of her mouth, it's always blaming Israel. She's like, she's Israeli, but she's like, might as well be anti-Israel. Then, she's like all about the Obama administration. Oh, I love his politics. It's like, shut up, cunt. Oop, I used it again. What is with me tonight, lady? I'm possessed.
Overcompensation for...
Yeah. So she won't shut up about like all her left-wing nonsense, which is infuriating. And the truth of the matter is, who is she? What is she, right? Let's be honest. What is she, right? She's just...
An actress.
An actress who, like, they try to put her up there because they try to put her in like all these cutesy movies, when basically... It's a form of... She's not like a great actress or something. She has limited acting skills.
Did you see her in Black Swan?
No.
Okay.
Was she any good in that?
Yeah, I thought so.
But I mean, like...
Did you see her in The Professional when she was just a little kid?
No.
It's a great film.
But like the more polished actresses in my lifetime, like,
Nina Hartley, Marilyn Chambers, Ginger Lynn, Tracy Lords.
Can we have a serious conversation?
Sorry.
Can we have a serious conversation?
Yeah, about Natalie Portman's acting.
Like Audrey Hepburn, Katharine Hepburn.
Yeah, the gay guys love Audrey Hepburn.
No, the gay guys love Judy Garland.
Oh.
But like, she's not a polished actress. She's just like in these cutesy movies, and basically they just hired somebody who, like, a lot of guys will think like she's hot looking or whatever. I'm not even attracted to her. Are you attracted to her? Of course, I know you're not attracted to females in general, but...
I'm moderately attracted to her.
I'm not attracted to her at all.
I prefer the blonde one when she was younger. Who's the blonde one? Scarlett Johansson. I liked her when she was a little younger.
What does she have to do with...
Well, they're both actresses, and once they played in a movie where they played sisters, and they both had sex with the king.
Oh, okay.
And I've often thought about having sex with Scarlett Johansson.
Well, that makes sense.
Because I saw her in... Yeah, she was great in Leon, the Professional. What's that movie shot in Japan with Sophia Coppola directed? Lost in Translation. So Scarlett Johansson was great in that.
Okay. So the point is that I'm not attracted at all to... What's this chick's name that I'm going off about? I can't...
Natalie Portman.
I'm not attracted to her at all, right? And, hey, Abe, how's it going? And I'm not attracted to her at all, right? And it's probably because she's an Ashkenazi Jew, and just generally, if a woman has, like, just generally I'm not into them, right? So she's not my cup of tea. But I do know that the reason why she's hired is because she looks good, and she gets guys excited to go see these lame movies that they put her in, And they put her in all the lame movies where they just want someone to look cutesy, and it's about sex and whatever, right? And I just want to say to her, shut up and do your job, just look cute for the camera, and stop with the politics, because last night she got on stage and she referred to the illegal aliens as, don't call them that, they're undocumented immigrants.
Oh, no, really?
She said they're undocumented immigrants.
Oh, I just forgot my documents.
I forgot my documents. Oh, I just left them over the border. Let me go get them. I got in here legally, but I just don't have my papers with me. I left them at home. Oh, no problem. We'll get them later. We're just undocumented immigrants. We don't have our documents with us. I hate it. I can't stand it when liberals water down
words, and so instead of being homosexuals, they're gay. Or instead of being illegal aliens, they're undocumented workers. Or instead of being terrorists, they're freedom fighters.
Militants.
Or instead of it being pornography, it's adult entertainment.
And there's no such thing as Islamic fascism.
Right.
It's
the religion of peace.
So the latest nonsense is So she's saying, oh, they're just undocumented immigrants. See, because in the liberal world, the liberal mindset, if somebody breaks into your house, like takes a crowbar, breaks into your house in the middle of the night, steals your computer, or in Levi's case, that might be an upgrade, steals your computer, right? Steals your board, that table, that surface that you use for Alexander, right? Which is your livelihood. Takes your livelihood away from you because they took your computer so you can't blog. They took your table away so you can't do AT. You have no way to make a living, right? That's it.
Yeah, unless I use condoms, I can't work in the industry in Los Angeles.
That's right. They took
away my last livelihood.
They took away your
last form of livelihood.
Your Trojan's extra small models. They took them out the window, right? And they came in and took these things. So in liberal mindset,
they're undocumented house guests.
They're uninvited guests. Never mind the fact that they're burglars, they're villains, they're robbers,
rapists,
the criminals, violent aliens. You can't call them those things. They're just uninvited guests. But the truth of the matter is, there's no difference between them because it's the same. Because an illegal alien breaks into our country, commits a felony, gets in here, steals our jobs, right?
Gets to our emergency rooms, sends their kids to our schools.
And drains us of money. So they're stealing, taking away our money, stealing our way of earning a living because they come and they take our jobs and there's no jobs available.
They blog, so it drives down the price of advertising.
Right. The ones that know how to speak English. Right? And so, it's the same thing. So I don't go lightweight. We don't go with the gloves with them. We don't put on the kitty gloves when it comes to illegal aliens, right? We call them criminals, illegals, or illegal aliens, right?
For those that are here legally, I spend every Sunday, I go down to South Central and I tutor them in English. That's the legal ones. So the Israeli Supreme Court just ruled the current Torah law, which exempts yeshiva students and Israeli Arabs from the army. It's unconstitutional in its current form. I think that's great. What is your opinion on the law?
First of all, I want to say hi to Faith. She entered. Hey, Faith, how's it going? Good to see you here. The Israeli Supreme Court ruled that the current... What's a tall law?
That's the law that exempts yeshiva students from serving in the army.
The whole country of Israel is unconstitutional. The whole... Based on... What does their constitution say? I don't know what their constitution says, so I have no opinion. But if they're going to say, a certain class of people is not above the law, then I'll say that the entire Jewish state needs to be dissolved. Because the idea of having a Jewish state simply implies that Jews are treated different than non-Jews. So you're going to have to make up your choice, Israel. Either you're going to have a Jewish state, and you're going to identify people by that people are not equal, or you're going to have an egalitarian state, and then it's no longer a Jewish state, and then therefore, might as well be an Arab state. Arabs and Jews are all the same, we're all the same people, and then there goes your Jewish state. So you're going to have to choose, right? You're going to have to choose, Israel. Do you want a Jewish state or an egalitarian state? If you want a Jewish state, then you have to. Then the concept of unconstitutionality based on race doesn't apply. If you want to have a egalitarian state, okay, fine. So don't give the yeshiva students any breaks. Don't give the Arabs any breaks. But then when the Arabs become the majority of the country, right? It's just another democracy, and it's no longer a Jewish state. So it dissolves the idea of a Jewish state.
So I got my sex appeal back because I was in shul on Shabbos, and there was this big bar mitzvah.
Okay.
And the mother of the bar mitzvah boy came up to me and said, "Are you married?" And I said, "No, I'm not married." And she said, "Are you looking to get married?" And I said, "Yes."
What shul is it?
I'm not going to name shul, but I got my appeal back. Like people are starting to ask, "Oh, Levi, is he married?"
Okay.
Levi's got it going on.
Levi's got it going on. Maybe they're saying, "Hey, are you married?" And you went, "No." And they said, "Are you looking for anybody?" And you said, "Yeah." And they go, "Oh, good. At least he's not gay."
Yeah, exactly. At least he's not like the Rabbi Rabs.
Right.
So I got it going on.
Good for you.
Afghanistan, they're rioting because the Quran was accidentally burned by some American military personnel, and so they're rioting and killing people. So how come, when things are done, Like if someone burns a Torah scroll, Jews don't riot and kill people. And how come when you got a Christian crucifix, put in a jar of urine for a piece of art, that Christians don't riot and kill people? So what does that tell you? That when Muslims riot over this accidental burning of the Quran, they go out and murder people. Does that tell you anything about kind of the moral level of Jews, Christians, and Muslims in the world today?
That's a whole loaded thing, but can I start off with something on that?
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, you start off by saying that they accidentally...
Well, the Quran was being used in the prison to pass incendiary information.
Right. So let's give all the facts. The Quran, they're allowed to have Qurans in the prison, apparently, or whatever the hell it was. And what they did was they wrote on the Quran their plans that they wanted to do for terrorism.
Mm-hmm.
They defaced their own holy book. America didn't do that. They themselves defaced these books by writing this stuff on it.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not an expert in Islam, so I can't say whether that's allowed to be done or not. But I can say it was them who did that.
Well, Jews do it all the time. We write on Torah scrolls to arrange suicide bombings.
Sure. Now, the American forces had every right to confiscate those books and destroy them because they were used this was information that would be dangerous because it was all the plans for the terrorism. So they destroyed these books that had this evidence on it, these plans on it. This is very typical of what goes on down there in that side of the world, where they hide behind human shields. They will fire weapons at you, standing behind an old lady and her baby.
Or behind their wife.
Behind their wife. Yeah, exactly. It's 25 wide. Right? Because now you've got a problem. They're shooting at you, but if you dare shoot them, you're going to have a problem on your hands. So it's, what's that word called?
Asymmetrical warfare.
Thank you, because I never think of it. That's the words. It's asymmetrical warfare at its best. So what they do is they write their shit on a Quran, and now when you want to destroy their plans, you've destroyed their Quran. Very clever. Okay? Here's the bottom line. The U.S. has nothing to apologize for. We did our job. It's they who... Those Qurans are destroyed because those Muslims wrote on their Qurans. That is why they had to be destroyed. If they had written their plans on something else, nobody would have touched their damn Qurans. But they wrote their battle plans on these Qurans, so of course our forces are going to destroy that. So that's totally excusable. What's inexcusable is that the President of the United States apologized for this shit. That's an embarrassment. Obama is an embarrassment, and this is just another case of it. This President Karzai, 2 military officers were murdered prior to those Qurans being...
2 American?
Yeah, military officers, a colonel and a something. I don't remember the other one. A captain, do you remember?
No.
I think it was a colonel and a captain. Were murdered, right? They were shot by these forces, by these Muslim forces, right? Did Karzai apologize for that? No. So what the hell is Obama apologizing for?
I can think of one good explanation for why he apologized, if that would decrease the odds of an American soldier getting shot and killed by a Muslim Afghan. If, even though it's unnecessary and stupid and wrong, if it would save American lives, that's the one argument I can see for it. But now,
can I just to rebut that, and then you can do your next time. To rebut that, I would say very simple. The lesson we're teaching is...
threaten America and we'll be servile.
We're going to apologize for everything we do. So you can go ahead and do whatever you want, right?
And we'll say, oh, sorry.
And then when we try to protect ourselves, we're going to end up having to apologize for it. This is the same predicament Israel is. They must apologize every time they stand up for themselves. 1,000 rockets come flying over the border, blow up a bunch of kids and innocent people, and Israel has to apologize for standing up for itself by fighting back. That is not the position that America should be in. They should be apologizing to us. Now, we don't apologize to anyone. America has no reason to apologize for anyone for anything. We should just go in there and kill whoever we need to, and that's it. And if they write their shit on their Quran, then we'll burn it, and we don't apologize for it. And if these people don't like it, that's too damn bad. Get over it. Well, we're not going to apologize. And the one thing I really like. The one thing I really didn't like last week was Obama apologized for it. He didn't demand from Karzai an apology. And three idiots who are running for president, Santorum, Ron Paul, and Mitt Romney, didn't say a single word. They didn't call for Karzai to apologize. They didn't take Obama to task for apologizing. Only one candidate had the balls to get up and demand that Karzai apologize, and took Obama to task and called him out for being a coward, and that was Newt Gingrich. Newt Gingrich is the only candidate that can stand up for America. He's the only one with a set of balls and a backbone and a spine. And he even was interviewed, and he said that the way to have handled this is to say to Karzai, we need to make a joint press statement. We'll appear on camera together, and you say, we apologize for the two Americans that were killed, and we apologize that the Korans had to be burned. You do it as a formal together, but you do not ever show apologetics when you're getting killed.
I know why you like Newt Gingrich, because you're both volatile. You both fly off the handle and come out with these strong statements. I mean, you're like similar personalities, you and Newt. I
get off watching Newt. I do. I really like Newt, and I think he's the only one left who's qualified. I don't think I used to be like, hey, Michelle's in the room too. Hey, Michelle. I used to be like, I'll take him or Santorum or Herman Cain or whoever the conservative is, right? But now that we've gotten to know all these personalities and these events have taken place, I don't think Santorum's qualified anymore. I mean, I think I'd still vote for him if your party nominates him, but my stock in him, my opinion of him has dropped. I just don't think he's qualified.
What's going on in Afghanistan just makes it seem once again like, why should American lives be sacrificed for this country? Like, looks now that it was a big mistake for us to go into Afghanistan in the first place. We should have just bombed the Taliban, but we shouldn't have put our own troops at risk on the ground. And the same with Iraq. Why did we go into Iraq? Massive expenditure of American money, thousands of American lives, and what have we gotten out of it?
So you were not a fan of President Bush?
No. And upon reflection, this country may very well have been better off if Al Gore had been elected president. I couldn't stand Al Gore. But Bush was a disaster.
Well, let's talk about this. How do you think? Here's my opinion. Mm-hmm. If Gore was elected, I think he would have taken us into Iraq.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely. Because he was sitting in the White House for 8 years,
right,
while watching Saddam break every single one of those UN resolutions,
right,
and they weren't digging it. Remember, the Clinton administration was not digging it. They had the no-fly zone. They were constantly,
right,
and they were bringing in UN inspectors, and they were getting the runaround. And I think that Gore would have taken us in. He would have stood tall to Saddam and said, let the inspectors in, or we're going to have to go to war with you. And he would have, done the same. I really think he would have done the same thing. And as far as 9/11, how do you think he would have reacted to that? The Americans, public, wanted everybody strung up. Do you remember in the days after 9/11?
Yeah.
How do you think he would have handled that? How do you think Al Gore would have handled it differently? Now, I'm not saying the way it was handled was the best way, but how do you think Al Gore would have handled it?
I just thought he would have been less likely to send American troops into Afghanistan and Iraq. But
honestly, I don't know why we spent so much time in Afghanistan. I don't know. I think the problem that Bush had with Iraq was his exit strategy. He should have just gotten the hell out of there. We should just go in, level the place, and get the hell out. What? No good?
No, I don't disagree.
That was the problem. If he had gotten us out of there by 2004 or even early 2005, I think everybody would have been fine with that.
So this week's Torah portion is Tetzaveh, Exodus 27 to 30. So is the Jewish soul different from a non-Jewish soul?
Yes.
How so?
Well, a Jewish soul is created to it's very easy to answer. You can answer that yourself. When you converted, what did they tell you happens in the mikveh that day?
I become Jewish.
But what do you get that day?
I don't remember stuff about the soul. I'm not so sure that the Jewish soul is different from a non-Jewish soul.
Okay, so when the Torah says that the two are different, and they tell you that you get
where does the Torah say that the two are different?
Oh, are we just talking about the Bible? Because I can't show you in the Bible. Is that your game? Because I know that you only follow the Bible, but
I don't only follow the Bible, but I like to be specific. So the Torah, 5 books of Moses.
No, the 5 books of Moses is not the definition of the Torah. The Torah is all of the oral Torah and all of the written Torah.
So how is the Jewish soul different from the non-Jewish soul?
When a person converts and becomes a Jew, when they go into the mikveh that day, right, and they come out, the soul, well, basically while they're in the water, the soul is given to them. So when they come out of the water, they're a Jew. They're given a Jewish soul. A Jewish soul is not a non-Jewish soul.
What's the difference between them?
A Jewish soul has the capability, if you will, of learning a lot of Torah. It's designed to learn Torah. It's designed to do all the mitzvahs.
But most Jews neither learn Torah nor do any mitzvahs. So
they're wasting they're wasting their soul.
Would you break the Sabbath to save the life of a non-Jew?
Of course, we've talked about that.
Yeah.
But the bottom line is a non-Jew doesn't need a Jewish soul because they don't learn Torah and they don't do mitzvahs. They have a soul that works very well
for playing football,
for following the 7 mitzvahs b'nai Noach. But when you decide I want to be, that's not enough for me. I really feel that I want to have I want to follow Judaism, right? I want to be a Jew.
Okay.
And they fight for it, like you fought for it. You worked hard to become a Jew.
Yeah.
So when you become a Jew, God gives you that special Jewish neshama.
Yeah.
He gives you what's called the Yiddish neshama, Jewish soul.
Yeah.
He blows it into your nose while you go into the mikveh, and you come out and you're a Jew. And now you have the equipment. You know what would be tantamount to this? It's like a soccer player versus a football player. When you're a soccer player, like, what do you need? You just need shorts and a pair of cleats. And then you go kick the ball.
Yeah.
You want to be a football player. You go, you know what? I want to be a football player.
Yeah.
Whatever. You just want to be a football player. Okay, that's great, but you're going to need the equipment. Because you can't play in the NFL in shorts and cleats. You can't play in the NFL.
Well, I've seen the lingerie football league, and they don't wear much there.
Good point. He could get a job there, but you won't be in the NFL with just shorts and cleats. You're going to need shoulder pads and a helmet and all this other crap. You're going to need the whole gear if you're going to do it. So if you want to be a Jew, you're going to have a Jewish soul that gives the person the power and whatever to do the Torah and the mitzvah.
So on Shabbos, I was walking a few blocks and with a friend. And the blocks just passed by so much more quickly and easily than when I walked them by myself. I actually just went boom, like that. So it kind of made me sad to think, how much of my life I've kind of walked on my own. And like, when you do things on your own, you walk a mile on your own, and it takes like 12, 15 minutes, and like the time doesn't fly by. But when you walk a mile with a friend and you're having a good conversation, time just goes. So that both made me notice, whoa, this is cool. And then I said, I've walked way too much alone. So
you need a walking partner.
Yeah. So when you pray next to people that you like, davening goes by much quicker, just like those blocks when you go for a walk.
Really?
Like I was davening with some guy who just made me laugh the whole time.
You laughed during davening?
Yeah, the whole morning.
That's not good.
It was great. he just made the time just like fly by. We were just like talking about chicks, and he's saying, "Oh, notice that one. She's got tattoos." And
you have a chick with tattoos that comes to shul?
Yeah.
I like your shul. That's crazy.
Yeah, and
Okay.
and so and he said something really funny to me. He said, "I've never seen you pray." It's like this guy and I, we've been going to shul together for 2 years, and I mean, I guess I'm not making a big impression with the way I daven. Because normally I just have like a Gemara out, or some kind of book that I study. But I thought that was pretty funny. It's like, dude, you've been like davening with me for 2 years, and you're saying this is the first time you've seen me pray. That's hilarious.
I want to go back to the point that you don't buy anything unless you don't buy simple. There's simple, just basics of Judaism. Mm-hmm. Simple basics of Judaism, mm-hmm. and you don't accept those, and I got a big problem with that.
Yeah, does that bother you?
It bothers me because you're supposed to, as a ger, accept the entire Torah, and that doesn't mean the first 5 books of Moses. It's not like, oh, I accept the stories in the Bible. See, this is a major misconception about Judaism, folks. First of all, Judaism is not a biblical religion. We talked about this many times. Okay, we can't go back and do this.
Thank you.
But I will say this, because I've said it many times, Judaism is not a biblical religion. When you're a Christian, when a person is a Christian, this is
just keep
doing my thing, right?
Yeah.
There's a common misconception. People think Levi is straight. No, there's a common misconception. People think, mistakenly, that the difference between Christianity and Judaism is that the New Testament. So if you take away the New Testament, now I'm following Judaism. Nothing could be more further from the truth, because that's a Christianized way of looking at Judaism. That's defining Judaism as Bible minus the New Testament. The rest is Judaism. That is false. That is patently false.
Yeah, you've said this 100 times.
This is a misconception of what Judaism is. Judaism is not a biblical religion.
Yeah, you said this 1,000 times.
Judaism is based on the oral Torah, which you're not going to find in the Bible. That is Judaism. Judaism is the oral Torah. When I say something that's in the oral Torah, and Levi doesn't accept it...
It's not that I don't accept it, it's just that it's like, that's out for me.
And you're not accepting Judaism.
I'm not rejecting it. It's not like I'm not accepting it. It's just like, it doesn't make sense to me. But I'm not rejecting it. I'm not refusing to accept it. It's just like, that's hard for me.
That is not the attitude that a ger is supposed to have. A ger is supposed to have...
There are some ways that I'm not a good
You're supposed to fall flat on your face.
Better than falling flat on my back.
And spread eagle and say... Bring it on me. Walk all over me. I am yours. I don't care what it is. I accept all of it. I want to be this, and I don't care what it is.
I had this really cute girlfriend.
Yeah.
And my older female friend kind of resented her and was like always making fun of her and cutting her down. And I said to my old friend, like, what's your problem with her? She's hot. And she says, she's got the look that says, you can do anything to me. So
that's the attitude.
That's the attitude.
That's the attitude, except instead of it's sexual, you have to make it spiritual.
Exactly.
You have to say, I'm yours, take me.
Exactly. So church and religious services at Reformed temples are much more solemn usually than going to an Orthodox shul. You've never been inside a Reformed temple.
Never been. Tell me what happens.
Take my word for it, folks. You get to sit next to girls. So
how is that much more solemn?
Well, it is. It's like people aren't chatting in Reformed temples.
So what's the point of sitting next to a hot girl when you can't talk to her?
Well, you might whisper a little, but it's not like an Orthodox shul where people are constantly talking and it's very informal. But it's like this is much more solemn.
Depends what shul you go to. I hate talkers.
Well, if you go to any FFB shul, people are talking the whole time.
Oh, that's a very...
It's only baalei teshuva and converts that don't talk.
There's something to be said for that. Yeah, that's something to be said for that.
the football, please.
Sure, it's your turn to play.
Thank you.
You can play with it now. There's something to be said for that. Okay, it's like when you're a lifer, it's
Yeah.
You can always tell lifers and newbies.
Yeah.
Because the religious ones are always the newbies.
Yeah.
The lifers are like thrown into it, right?
Yeah.
It's like whatever.
They're at the Kiddush Club.
Yeah, it's like, we're lifers. We've
They're
been doing
talking
this
the whole time.
hmm It's like, we grew up running around in this shul, and like this is how we treat
Who
shul.
does this rabbi think he is?
And it's like, this is what we do.
I know more than he does.
And we're paying for him.
Exactly.
So, what fuck him. So that's a lifer attitude, And the BT and the Ger are like,
oh, I want to get close to Hashem.
oh, I'm doing the davening thing here for like an hour. It's like, whatever, dude, we're going to work. It's like, whatever. And so there is something to be said for that, And there's another statement too that you're going to find, but this is many, many years from now.
Yeah.
That I have a thing that I say.
Mm-hmm.
If you're BT or Ger long enough, you'll become a lifer.
Yeah.
If give it like
20 years.
20 years.
Because I've been around Jewish life for more than 20 years.
But you haven't been doing the frum thing.
Well, I've been around Frumkeit for 18 years. I've been getting Orthodox shuls for 18 years.
Yeah, but how long have you been taking upon yourself the mitzvahs, and how long?
That time. I'm not much more observant now than I was before I finished my Orthodox conversion.
That's scary.
In fact, in many ways, I'm less religious. Like I had this enthusiasm back then. It's like, this is great.
All right, so I'll let you get away with it, but I'm not sure if I agree with that. I have to think about that, but the concept is there. If you baalei teshuva,
because most people don't get. I don't seem like a convert to most people. To most people, I seem like an FFB. That's kind of the way, I'm not like, oh Hashem. And the reason is I'm FFB, but I was from Seventh-day Adventist from. So pretty much all my life, with the exception of a handful of years, I've been traditional religious. Just like for a while it was Christianity, and then it was Judaism. I mean, I've never been like real strict, but I've always like affiliated traditional religious. Yeah, and haven't always been like the most strict. Not the most particular with the mitzvah. Not like decorating the mitzvah and making it beautiful. But I've been going along.
Okay.
So much of what goes on in an Orthodox shul, what these purported religious services or prayers, is socializing. Like, because Orthodox Jews frequently pray at shul every day, it's much more informal than religious services at a church or a Reform temple. So what will usually often go on in an Orthodox shul where people are being Orthodox from birth is that they'll talk about who's looking to get married. They'll help someone find a job. They'll facilitate a business deal.
Oh yeah. I once heard this that weekdays is for making business. For making business deals, right?
Yeah, and
Shabbos is for closing the deals.
Yeah.
We close the deal at shul on Shabbos.
Yeah.
Right? But during the week, we make the deals, we write up the thing, we close it on Shabbos.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so that's what goes on. Like, you talk about real estate values, you talk about, this new, Pico Robertson now has a wine store, a kosher wine store.
The cask.
Yeah, so you talk about, will they make a go of it, how are they making money, the margins, profit margins on wine are very small.
What else do you talk about?
You talk about new kosher restaurants, you talk about kosher restaurants that have closed down. You help someone find a job, tell Rabbi Rabs about that shul. Talk about football.
There's always.
Work,
I got to tell you
politics.
something. There is always. If you want to know the score to a game, you don't go to a BT minion. You go to a You go to a lifer shul.
Yeah.
Because I don't care if it's Yom Kippur.
Yeah.
Right. You can get the score at a lifer shul.
Yeah.
Somebody knows it in there.
Yeah.
Lifers know the scores to the game.
Oh, in a lifer shul for the Kiddush Club, they'll go next door so they can watch the game. So I remember this at Young Israel Century City.
Well, they go next door.
Well, for March Madness, college
Where did they
basketball.
go next door to?
To an apartment right next to the shul, so that they could watch the March Madness basketball.
Oh my
college
god!
Basketball.
Ugh, terrible. Can I throw this in there?
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you go to you could go to a shul with 1,000 BTs, you won't get the score there.
Right.
That's not going to help you. 1,000 people know, but if you go to a lifer shul with 10 guys, somebody knows it.
So the Lakewood Rob wants to know, when you're in the industry, what did you talk about on Shabbos? And you talk about, well, let's use this girl in this movie, and let's do the deal.
Okay.
And you drink a lot of alcohol, typically, for a Kiddush club? Or you drink some alcohol and...
I'm going to say that lifers drink more than BTs.
Yeah.
That's just a guess I have. I don't have any facts to base that up.
And you see, like, lifers, they're very comfortable with each other because they've been around each other from childhood. So there'll be like a group of 6 of them, and they'll be just like kibitzing and like shoving each other and, going off on each other, and they're just having a great time. And then like, the baalei teshuvas, the converts, they're very proper, or, they're not nearly as comfortable, but the lifers, like, they're just like, they're tight.
Right. So this is my advice, and this is serious. I would advise... I would advise everybody who's watching this, if you're one of the following 3 type of people. If you're a ger, a convert, if you're a newbie, a baalei teshuva, someone's a newcomer, a Jew, just getting going in Yiddishkeit, or if you're a lifer who's serious about Torah, stay away from a lifer shul. Stay away from it. That's not a good place for you. And go to a beginner shul, because they're going to take it seriously, and you're going to get a much more spiritual buzz by going there than you would if you went to the quickie, the busy businessman's quickie minion.
Okay, I got a great point to make. So Abe says, forget about getting the score at shul. What shul should you go to if you want to score? If you want to score, you go to a BT shul or a convert shul, because on the one hand they're very pious, and they're davening and all that. On the other hand, converts and BTs like fall much more dramatically and easily off the derrick. Like, on the one hand, like BTs and converts, they'll be dressed really froom. Like, they'll have the long skirts down to the ankles. They'll be saying B'ezrat Hashem, and they'll be picking up the lingo, and they'll be davening. On the other hand, you get them outside of shul, and like anything can happen. Like they haven't been ingrained. Like a lifer shul, they're married by the time they're 20, 22, 24. But you go to a BT shul like Torah, or where there are a lot of converts, and they'll be like 28, 35, never been married, and you say, oh, let me walk you home. Like, one thing leads to another. Like, I scored all the time.
Scored?
Yeah. When I went to baalei teshuva synagogues. Like, because, like, they just, boom. It's like, the dress comes off. It's like, it's a whole different, like converts and baalei teshuva, often they're extremists. Like, they're not stable. Stable people typically don't become either converts or baalei teshuva. People typically become converts or baalei teshuva because they're unstable, they're unhappy with their lives, and they think that by becoming froom that will fix them. Of which, of course, it doesn't. So they're unstable, they're unreliable, and I would know because they look at me. And so, yeah. So, word to the wise.
Hey, but Lakewood Rob just said something intelligent for once. He said God kept setting you up with Jewish single women to marry, and here you are alone and single. So what happened?
It was never my choice. With any of the halfway decent ones, it was always they saw through me real quick and said, this guy's trouble. So I've never really had a shot at marrying like a decent woman. Like, I've had, pretty psychotic women, very troubled women who were down for marrying me, like borderline retarded or, really messed up chicks. They were because for them, I would have been a step up. But for most normal women who've got their like head screwed on straight, they kind of see that I'm trouble. And so, it didn't take long. They might be willing to sleep with me a few times, but they quickly see this guy's not reliable. He's not going to make a good panasa. He's not a good catch. He's unstable, and he's a whack job. I'm kind of embarrassed because I'm going to all these doctors, and other mental health professionals, and trying to get them to send me Alexander Technique clients. But I'm a little bit of an eccentric.
No.
I am not the most stable rock that you'd build a community around.
I can't hear this. I refuse. I am not McCauble.
What does that mean?
I can't accept this.
I'm a little bit of a whack job.
Mm.
I'm not the most professional person that you'd ever meet. Okay. I'm not like someone you'd go, oh, this is someone I'm going to rely on. This is someone who's a mensch, who's dependable, and this is someone who's going to keep the 613 or the. Let's say Alexander Technique has 7 laws. Wow.
Are you sure you want this out there, or are you going to want to edit this out tomorrow morning?
I'm not going to go much further in this.
I'm sitting here cringing. I'm glad you finally had the good sense to shut the fuck up before it went further.
Yeah, so you'd think I would have found my level, but I didn't want to move to Martin Luther King Boulevard, so.
Good, there's our first anti-black statement.
Nothing anti-black about it. I love Martin Luther King Boulevard.
Only took 52 minutes for his
always
racist
been very happy
mouth to open up.
I like going to black churches.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, I like the davening.
Davening.
I like the davening in a black church. You might say, oh, Levi, that sounds sacrilegious. Orthodox Jews shouldn't go to a church. It's against the halacha. It's a shanda. But I really like to pray with black Christians. I like the music. They're often really well dressed and very clean. They smell good and they hug you. Women hug you. You go to a black church and it's like, hey brother!
That happened to me. I'll tell you something. They are very huggy. I shouldn't generalize, but I have had an experience. I should say I've had an experience that way. Because there was a woman who I was visiting she'd gotten sick, whatever, she was hospitalized, right? Mm-hmm. She had a stroke. And I had worked with her for years, and we got tight. We talked to each other at work all the time, and she was kind of like my surrogate mom at work. I used to, she was like my mom. And older lady, and she had a stroke, and she lived in South Central. Mm-hmm. So I used to go down there and visit her. She was like a church lady, and she had her church group. Right. That's she was all about her church group and her gospel singing. Yeah. She was old school. Yeah. So I used to go down there to South Central. Of course, I only visited her during the day because I didn't want to be out at night down there. Yeah. It was too scary. I was near the flashpoint.
You scored.
I was near the flashpoint of the 92. Yeah, it was 2 blocks away from there. I was really fucking scared going down there. And I stuck out. I was the only, forget being the only Jew rabbi looking, but I was the only white face down in that part of town. You would have just freaked out. It'd been oh my God.
I would have been in heaven.
Oh my God. So I went down there and I visited her quite a bit. And she's a really sweet lady, and her daughter, who's also at church, so she was really good about passing on to her daughter the perpetuating the churchness, which is hard to do from generation to generation.
The door vador.
The door vador. And she got it, and her daughter was all churchy and everything. And then one day after I was, I'd spent some time visiting the mom, and I was talking to the daughter a little bit, and then I excused myself. I said, okay, it's time to go home, because it was getting dark, and I didn't want to get caught down in that part of town. And the daughter gave me a big mama bear hug, and I was really taken back. I didn't know what to do, because when a woman sticks out her hand, you're supposed to shake it because you're not supposed to embarrass her by going, hey, I don't touch. But when she's already got you in a bear hug, what do? Right? She's already it's too late. It's too late to say, well, I don't hug. You have to push her arms off of you, right? And she's giving a full mama embrace, right? So now you're only. Do you stand there? Let's demonstrate what I'm talking about, right? Okay? So she's got her arms up. So the question is you can't put your arms around me because it's Shomer Negia, right? Right. So you can't. So your arms are stuck out, right? Right. So your arms are stuck out. But now it's as if she put her hand out to shake your hand and you didn't accept it because she's hugging you. She's hugging you. Let's do it again.
No. But one thing you should not do is don't start rubbing on a leg like a dog.
Right, so she's hugging you, which is more than just sticking out her hand, and you're not reciprocating. So my thought was, oh my God, what's worse? Do I have to hug this woman? Right?
Right, or just stand there.
And break everything about Shomer Negia?
Right,
or
right.
do I just stand there and make a Chilul Hashem and embarrass her? Right? Because it's got to be worse than... Right?
Good thing she didn't start going down on you. Then you really would have been in a
She's a
dilemma.
church girl. She's not going to do that.
Ooh, what should I do now? On the one hand, I don't want to embarrass her. On the other hand, this is not froom. Ooh, wonder what the Talmud says about this situation. I've been there myself.
Oh, yeah? So there's...
I didn't put up a lot of resistance. Okay, so...
We're having a good Torah discussion today.
Yeah.
Because we got Shomer Negia, and I got different halachos. Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay.
I forget. I have a very small brain. Most of the time I think with my penis.
My lack of social skills...
Because I'm an American male who eats meat and watches football and the Oscars.
My lack of social skills has caused me at least as much trouble in Orthodox Judaism as my lack of morals and my lack of holiness and my lack of Torah.
I thought you were the moral leader.
Well, I am, but to those who are below me. You're socially skilled but religiously lazy. You're likely to have much more success in Orthodox Judaism or Jewish life generally than if you have the opposite tendencies where you're religiously skilled but socially inept.
Can I just say something real quickly? I'm going to say that a large percentage, if not the majority, if not the overwhelming majority, of the Frummy community, okay, is socially inept.
Socially inept in the wider world.
I mean, they are socially clueless and crippled. What
I just...
I mean, here is typical of what goes on in the Frum world. They
take the rabbi.
Can I?
Sorry.
In the Frum world, these are what's considered acceptable opening questions when they meet somebody.
Where do you daven?
Where do you daven? Like, you don't even know the person, right? And the first question's out of their mouth. It's not hi.
What do you do?
What do you do? Where do you daven? Are you married? How much money do you make?
How much did your house cost you?
Where are you from? Are you bald shuva?
Do you know Yeki? And
you know my cousin Lenny? Right, it's like all these...
Can you give me a good deal?
It's all these personal questions that are inappropriate, should never be asked. But the reason why they all do it is because that's how they were brought up, raised. These are the kind of things that were considered socially okay.
Well, those are normal questions if you're a normal Orthodox Jew.
Because they're social.
Normal Orthodox Jews don't have a problem with this.
Because they're all socially inept and they think this is acceptable. But anybody who's a little bit more sophisticated and knows that these things are bad manners can see that, and then you just look down on the whole committee. Like the whole bunch of them are just very much seem to me socially inept, and you'll see it. You'll see it. It's not. I'm not making this stuff up.
Well, most people don't have a problem with those questions. Most Orthodox Jews are fine with it.
Because to them it's acceptable. Because this is how they've always dealt. They've always dealt with other people who are socially crippled, and this is like the kind of stuff that they all ask each other. I walked in. This is a true story. I walked into the dentist office, right, and there was a guy in the waiting room, and he didn't even say hello, how are you, what's your name? He just said, why are you wearing tzitzis on the outside? I'm like, excuse me, who the fuck are you? I mean, it was like, really, I was like, what the fuck kind of question is that to say to a total stranger, like, get in their face?
Lakewood Rod says, if you guys were married and successful in business, such questions would not bother you. Exactly.
No, he's wrong, and I'll tell you why.
If you were married, successful.
No. I know a lot of people who are married and successful in business, and they will tell you that the questions change, and they're just equally, if not more, imposing and inappropriate. They will ask you, how many kids do you have? When are you going to have kids? You will get those kind of questions, right? And let's say, like, in Levi's case, let's say he was successful, and he was, what's the other word?
Successful in business. And
not only would they nail you on your kids, right? But here's the next one. They need to find out if you're a gay or not. They need to know.
Yeah.
And they would say, where are you from? Where are you from is a loaded question. It's the it's the almost like the PC. It's the sneaky way of asking, are you a BT or a lifer or a ger? And depending how you answer that question,
what's your IQ?
They're gonna find out because you say, "Oh, I'm from Australia," and they go, "Oh, what shul did you daven at?" Because I have my cousin. What's a Australian name? What are Australians?
Mordechai.
No, Australians. What are they named?
But Australian Jews are named Mordechai.
Australian Jews are all named Mordechai?
Yeah.
Okay. So I have how about my cousin Sydney?
Yeah, my cousin Cindy lives in Melbourne.
Right, my cousin Sydney from the Outback. Right. So they're gonna say, you know him? And you say, well, I don't know him. And they say, well, he davens there every fucking day. And you go, well, I don't know. I haven't been to that shul in years. And they go, when were you there? And then you start like you don't have answers for them, right? Because you're lying, right? And so, basically they're driving at. They want to find out one of two things. If you really went to the shul, then they're going to pick up the phone. And Fermies are always on the phone, and they want to say, well, I just met a guy, his name is Levi Ford, and he says he's from your shul. Do you know this guy? Can you vouch for him? They make it their fucking business. I hate this. This is so typical. And then they've just violated your privacy, if you will. They stalk you, right? The shit that they do. That's why Facebook is really dangerous to bring in Fermies, because they really want to know what everyone's doing. It's like, I need to know, it's my business, right? And so then the other thing is they go, no, he's not here, so we can't vouch for him. So he says he's from Australia. Suspicious. Must be a ger. Right? Because
the porn industry is the same way.
Are they?
Like, you can't do anything unless someone vouches for you. It's kind of like the mafia. But I think all insular groups are the same way, pretty much. Because, if you go to the mafia and say, I'm from, they'll immediately want to know where you're from. You say, I'm from Sydney. And they'll go, I've got a cousin there. Or in the industry, if you want to book models for your movie, and they're not going to send you girls unless someone vouches for you. So you can't do anything in the industry unless someone vouches for you.
Okay. Talmud123 is there. What's his name again? Justin. Hey, how's it going?
He thinks that Furumis are spying on him to make sure he's not masturbating.
I didn't remember the show was on that.
Hey, Vesemir.
Who's Madel? Do you know who that is?
Matal. Hey, Vesemir.
Shomer Brit. If he uses that word, I can't stand him with his Shomer Brit.
So I thought I'd go on the Pirate Bay and see if I could download.
I can't figure out if Justin wants to be Chabad or if he wants to be Breslov, because you ever look at his Facebook posts, he'll go through a phase where it's all about the Chabad Rebbe, and then all of a sudden you'll forget that he's into that, and then he'll post all this Breslov stuff. So it's the Narishkeit from one and the Narishkeit from the other, and he's floating somewhere in between, right? But what he doesn't realize is both of those are mutually exclusive, because neither one of those accepts the other group, because both groups think that they're the shit, and there is no life outside of either one of those groups. So you can't be in both. You cannot dance at both chasanas. You can't. You cannot. You can learn from both, but you cannot be both.
Have you ever tried to download a movie online, go to the Pirate Bay or one of the torrent sites?
I'll plead the fifth. Why?
Well, I tried doing that this week for the first time.
Why would I? That's not a crime. Isn't that a crime?
Yeah, and it said it would take a day to download the movie. I just gave up. I watched some.
What movie?
Too Big to Fail. The movie about the Wall Street crash of 2008. It was an HBO movie. It's not on Netflix.
How long a movie is it?
Just 2 hours.
And it said it'd take a whole day?
Yeah.
Then you got a problem with your internet. That's clear.
Oh, it shouldn't take that long. How long does it normally take? A couple of hours? Supposedly, from what you've heard?
Well, how many seats were there when you went on a Pirate Bay? That's very important.
What do you mean? What's a seat?
Go to Pirate Bay.
Okay.
Again, I don't know.
Yeah, we're not endorsing this behavior.
I don't know anything about it.
But if the movie industry won't make movies easily available so that you could spend $1 or $2 or $3 online and get the bloody movie...
But that's not an excuse.
Of course it is.
That's like a thief goes into a store, right, and steals something and says, I had to steal it because they don't sell it on my street. That's stupid. Okay, what?
I think it's... So I'd like to watch Too Big to Fail.
No, I'll give a bad example. Something is not it's not sold anymore. Like something was discontinued, right? And there's an item that you want. So you saw it in somebody's house. So you stole it.
No. This is different because you're not taking away anything.
Yeah, but you're look, you're in the the business, right?
Yeah.
The business is making money, and it pumps into California, it pumps into LA.
Right. No,
so every time someone downloads this,
no, because they wouldn't necessarily buy something in the first place. So if they wouldn't have bought it in the first place,
so how would they ever see it?
Borrow it from a friend. Like there's lots of stuff. Like there's lots of music that people would download that they would never buy.
Right.
But they'll listen if it's free and easy.
Right. We'll get into that. That's the argument.
So what do you want to see here?
What the hell is that?
Too big to fail.
Well, why don't you go to Pirate Bay?
We are on Pirate Bay.
No, you're not. That's not what it looks like.
Now, when that law about you must follow the law of the Gentiles, that's the law as it's practiced, not necessarily just the law as it's on the books.
Okay, now go to go to SE.
Yeah.
And click on that.
Nothing happens.
Are you using Internet Explorer?
I'm using Miro.
What the hell is that?
So which one of these you recommend? So
you got to click on
15
SE.
What does SE mean?
That means how many seeds there are. You know how BitTorrents works? It's how many different servers around the world are pumping that out. So if you clicked on the first one, there's only one. It's going to take you years for it to download.
Oh, okay. So what about this one, 74?
That's pretty good. But if you click on SE, it will sort them from big to small. Your whole browser's shot. Why don't you use a real browser? You're driving me crazy. There's only 74 seeds. It might take a while. There should be one that has like 1,000.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But you got to be able to... Can you get in there with a real browser? Can you start up Firefox or something? All right, you'll do it later. But you know what to do. You have to sort them according to seeds.
Okay, so the more seeds, the better.
Right, because you're downloading it from, let's say, 1,000 different servers at one time. It's a very easy download.
Uh-huh.
When you and 1,000 other people are trying to pull off one guy's little server in his basement, it's going to take a long time.
Oh, that's really helpful.
Yeah.
Because I was like, it would tell me like a day.
Yeah, well, that's what
a day to download a movie.
If I'm the only person on the planet pushing it out from my laptop, right, and I got like 1,200 people pulling at the same time, it's going to take you a while.
Yeah.
But if I have 1,000 people pushing it out, and you're the only customer, and you're the only customer for that server, it shouldn't take more than an hour.
Because I really want to see Game Change, the new Sarah Palin movie.
Okay.
It's going to be on HBO.
It's a hack job against you.
Yeah, I know, but I still want to see it.
Okay.
Because I want to be a responsible citizen and be informed.
Okay.
And okay.
No.
See, like if you weren't going to buy the movie anyway, and no one's getting hurt. Like if you don't reduce your purchasing habits,
right,
then nobody's getting hurt.
It's
not like going into someone's house and taking something because you're not taking anything away from anyone. You're only taking something away if you would reduce your normal level of consumption.
Okay, but let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. I'm going to be honest.
Yeah.
Let's be honest here.
Yeah.
Let's say like the movie's about to start in a theater.
Mm-hmm.
Let's break it down.
Yeah.
And the movie theater is only like, it's got like half full. There's like half the seats are still remaining.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Are you allowed to just run in the theater because they're going to show it anyways, and it's not going to cost them anything for having you occupy one of those chairs?
No, you're not. No, because that's in public. People can see it. It's a whole different. It like breaks down society.
How is this any different?
Nobody knows.
What do you mean nobody knows?
Nobody knows. Like if I download a movie online, nobody knows. It doesn't break down society. While if I go running into a theater,
just the fact that we're having this conversation and we know that thousands of people do it, isn't that the same? What's the difference if I know that thousands of people download for Pirate Bay every day, right? Mm-hmm. Right, we even see the numbers, how many people are playing with this thing, right? Mm-hmm. Thousands, right? Mm-hmm. What's the difference between that and two people walking into a theater and having to pay?
Because Because one's in public and one's in private.
But how is it private? We see that it's happening.
But you don't see the person doing it. People can't see out there whether or not I'm illegally downloading something right now.
But we know people are doing it.
Yeah, but it's totally different. It's
okay. Let me set it up a little better.
Yeah.
Same movie theater, half the seats empty.
Yeah.
Turn off the lights.
Yeah.
Getting ready to show the movie, right?
Yeah.
Can I sneak in from the exit in the back?
No, because
nobody's going to see me. Nobody's going to say it's dark. I come in from behind the movie. And the reason I say this is because when I was younger, when I was a young man, I would say about 18 or 19, I used to sneak into theaters. And we used to do that exact thing. When the lights would go off, we would sneak in from the ceiling and drop in behind the screen and then come out around the curtains.
Wow.
Right? And we used to sit there and watch for free because the theater was half empty.
Huh.
Yeah. So is that okay?
No.
Why is that any different than downloading?
Because it'd be a lot easier to get caught doing that than downloading.
Are you kidding me? You know how easy it is to get caught doing this?
No, how easy is it?
There's stories all the time about people getting busted.
For music, not for movies.
What's a nafkamina?
I don't recall any stories about people getting busted for downloading a movie.
Really?
Do you recall any?
I just remember people getting...
I remember people for music.
Yeah.
But I don't remember...
Well, I don't know what the difference is.
I just don't recall any stories.
But what's the difference? You're downloading... What's the difference if you download somebody's pirated software, pirated book, pirated music, pirated movie, pirated TV show? What's the difference?
Well, practically, what are the odds of getting caught?
Okay, let me ask you this question.
Yeah.
You wrote a book, did you not?
Yeah.
You've had 5 published.
Yeah.
Right? And you think you have a very large penis because of it.
Torah Jew doesn't talk that way, think that way.
Okay, so you have a book. Now, you want people to buy your book. Do you get royalties from your book? So the more people who buy your book...
But if they want
Let me start it. Let me get to my point. How would you feel if you went on Pirate Bay, or whatever, you went on the internet and just search on your book, and you saw the entire book available online? But they could just download the entire book, print it out, and they have your book, you're never going to get a dime out of it. Right? Didn't you copyright it for that very purpose, that no one should be able to steal your book? Isn't the copyright and trademark written into our Constitution? Isn't there a copyright clause? Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah. But that's all legal theory. But if they weren't going to buy the book anyway, I would be glad if they took a pirated copy and read it.
Why?
Because it means that they're reading my work, and I've worked hard, and it also will increase their appetite, if they enjoy it, for other things that I do that they might purchase.
They're not. They're just going to keep... They've just been taught that they don't need to pay Levi Ford to read what's on his mind. And you're not going to make a living.
I think it's much more complex, because I think most pirating people wouldn't pay for it anyway, so it's not taking money away. Also, it increases the appetite for that person's product. But I also agree with the other. I see the other argument as well. So to me, it's ideally you don't pirate. If you do pirate, you shouldn't reduce your spending in that area. Like I remember there were a lot of times when I was too poor to buy books, and so I'd go hang out in a bookstore and I'd kind of skim through a book. But whenever I had money, I made sure that I bought some books from that bookstore.
Right. Okay, now let's talk about the public library. How do you feel about the public library buying your book and just lends it out every week?
I'm fine with it.
You only get paid one time, and everybody gets to read it.
I'm fine with it, because if people read my book, it might prime them to do some sort of deal with me in some other venue. They might come to a talk that I give, or they may want an autographed copy of one of my books, or they might want me to marry their daughter. They might want to do a business deal with me.
You really are not in touch with reality, are you?
No, not really. Reality's never been one of my strong points.
How many pills have you been prescribed in your life?
I've been on meds, and I've been off meds. I've been off meds for 3 years. No
Okay.
meds for 3 years.
All right, very good. Now, okay, the interesting thing is, because you say, like, you see both sides of the argument.
Mm-hmm.
There is another side of this argument.
Yeah.
The other side of this argument is, and I remember this specifically, this was in yeshiva like 25 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it was Mordechai ben David. And he had a CD or a tape out, I don't remember what it was back in those days.
Mm-hmm.
And it said, Torah law, or Shulchan Aruch, or whatever however he worded it, strictly forbids
Illegally duplicating.
this tape,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
And that's what it said on it.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of things have that on it.
But the thing was, that's not halacha.
Yeah. Exactly.
He was halakhically wrong on that.
Yeah.
He just wrote that on there
Yeah.
to get you, to put the fear of death into you.
Yeah.
But that's not the halacha. And this is where it gets really complicated.
Yeah. You can't copyright Torah, for instance. Go ahead.
Intellectual property. I sat sheer on this. You know what that means? I attended a Torah class on it. Extremely complex.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of people who've written on it. I would suggest Rabbi Bleich has written on it at length.
Mm-hmm.
Rabbi Tendler
Yeah.
has written on it.
Which Tendler?
Moshe Tendler.
Okay.
He's written on it. But I would just basically stay with Rabbi Bleich. Now, people may have written things since then, but this was like in the 80s. It's not so simple that because I put something on a CD,
Right.
that therefore nobody can ever copy it. It's
Right.
not so simple. Right? Because I created the CD. Right?
Yeah.
And I sold the CD. But there's stuff on that CD. Who's to say who can copy it and who can't? You know, and can I make another copy? It would be wrong if you made a copy of it and then you sold it.
Yeah.
And you made money
Yeah.
off of
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the question is, if I buy a CD, a Mordechai ben David CD,
Mhm.
am I halachically responsible to never share it with somebody else? Can I hand you the CD and let you...
Exactly.
Can I resell it to you, or can I lend it to you?
You can lend it.
Can I hand it to you?
You can give it.
Can I give it away?
Yeah.
Because if you say no, that I am the only one who can ever look
That's
at it.
crazy.
If I'm the only one
Yeah.
who can ever look at it,
Yeah.
right? Then I am the only one who can ever learn my Torah books.
Yeah.
And if you want to learn my Torah books,
It's ridiculous.
you have to go buy your own.
That's ridiculous.
That's not the Torah philosophy.
Exactly.
The Torah philosophy is a yeshiva buys a sefer and puts it on the shelf, and everyone can come in and learn from it.
Yeah.
Right? The attitude has never been, and what about the publisher? The publisher obviously makes money if everybody buys their own.
Yeah.
But that's not the Torah attitude. So there's no real room halachically for exceptions for intellectual property. Right? You can't say, well, I own that and no one else is entitled. You're not entitled. You would have to sign a contract.
Right.
I would have to sign a contract with you that when you buy my CD, I'd have to set up a real kinyan, a special kinyan. And you'd have to sign it and say, I am willing to never lend it to anybody. In fact, you might not even be permitted to play it when anybody else is in the room.
Right.
Which is just absurd.
Right.
So Torah it's not so simple in Torah if it's a violation of Torah. Right? So file sharing.
Yeah.
And loaning out stuff to each other is not a halachic issue.
Yeah.
Right? Right? So there's that. So the only problem is it an American issue? Right? And clearly it's a copyright infringement.
But it's when we're commanded to obey the law of the land, it's not the law on the books, it's the law as is practiced. So if we drive 56 miles an hour in a 55 mile an hour zone, if everyone else is going 56 miles an hour, we're not committing a sin by Torah.
Right. So the question is, does everybody use BitTorrents?
No, but what if a third of the population is?
Well, let's get on the freeway for a second. Let's say like a third of the people are going 65, but 2/3 of the people are going 55. Are you allowed to go with? Are you allowed to? Who do you have to stay with? What do you have to do?
Let's say a third of the people are going 65, but 95% of the people who are on the freeway are going 65. So the people who are online, there may be 60%.
This is the kind of question you want to ask your Rav. I can't answer. I can't possibly this. You need to talk to your own Rav. You know, I've never asked the question because I'm not ready for the answer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'd rather download shit, right?
Right.
B'shogeg than b'mezid.
And explain the difference.
If I know the halacha and I know what I'm doing is wrong, halachically, that's far worse than if I'm doing it and I don't know with certainty if it's okay or if it's not.
Yeah.
I can always say, didn't know. So ignorance is bliss to a point in Torah. To a point.
Yep. Okay.
All right, good Torah discussion tonight.
Yes. This week's Pasha, you have the Urim and Thummim, the breastplate. Do you think most people face a greater challenge in detecting right from wrong or doing right from wrong? Converting to Judaism has helped me clarify right from wrong, but my biggest trouble has always been, and continues to be, doing right from wrong. My biggest trouble is not knowing what is right here and what is wrong. My biggest trouble is like doing the right thing when it's inconvenient, or when I have, if I have some wood and I want to put it in the fireplace.
Okay.
So do you think most people have faced a greater challenge in learning right from wrong or doing right from wrong?
I don't know about most people. I don't think I can answer that question, but I know that a lot of people don't realize what's right and what's wrong, and the answer to that is because they don't follow Torah.
Yeah.
Torah is what's right. Right? Some people don't see that. A lot of people don't see that Torah is right. Let me see what's in the chat room, right?
Okay, Lakewood Rav says that the Saracens trying to fly an airplane into your camp because of the helicopter outside.
They can hear it?
Yeah. So yeah, there are a lot of police helicopters that kind of keep buzzing around my apartment. I don't know why.
Oh, Reb Taco is such a ray of sunshine. We've got a guy here who just graduated law school, right?
Uh-huh.
And your friend Reb Taco says, "Oh, most grads from law school these days end up working at a coffee shop." What a dick! We don't need your kind of negativity. Scram.
Yeah, like you're not negative.
Oh, this is the scene in Goodfellas when the chopper's chasing Ray Liotta around town, and the Jewish chick, the Jewish actress, I can't remember her name.
What do you want? What do you want?
I want to go up. I want to. No.
What?
I want to scroll up. Scroll up. I want to see what we missed.
I'll just email it to you.
Well, Talmud123 was talking, and I wanted to see what he had to say.
It's Justin. You know what Justin has to say.
No, but he had some questions or something.
No, he didn't.
All right, forget it.
Okay, so
Justin, if you had a question, ask it now, because we never saw the chat room. It was not available for me to see. And
I'll ask it again. Folks, if you have any questions, ask them right now. We'll get right to it. So Rabbi Wine says the light of Torah is dependent upon the moral purity of its source. So like if I know that a rabbi has had some scandal, particularly a sexual scandal, like he boffed some woman who came to him for counseling, or he boffed some congregant, or boffed someone's wife, or he boffed his sister, or something like that, I just can't take seriously anything they say.
Why not?
I just can't. I don't know. It's just the way God made me.
Okay, can I address that?
Please.
That's what's called the odd. I can't even say it. An ad hominem attack.
Well, it's not even an attack. I just constitutionally, I just find that I just can't take seriously. I'm not attacking them. I'm saying that they shouldn't be taken seriously. I'm just saying I can't.
Right, but that's an ad hominem. You're saying no. What's an ad hominem?
Personal.
It's like I'm going to reject the argument based on who said it. Right? And we consider that that's a logical fallacy.
I'm not rejecting the argument. I just can't take the person seriously.
Okay. Here's the difference between me and you.
Mm-hmm.
Torah says that if somebody screws another man's wife or whatever, it gets involved in this kind of stuff, right?
Yeah.
He can still teach Torah, and we still learn from him.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely. That doesn't affect his Torah. Okay?
Really?
Yeah. However, if he, tells you that the Rebbe
the Mashiach, if he advocates
heresy, then everything he says must be ignored.
Right.
So if he tells you like Shabbos candles, have to be lit before Shabbos, you just ignore it.
Yeah.
Everything is ignored, right? If he says that evolution occurred and that the universe is older than 6,000 years, everything he says has to be ignored. Okay, because this is heretical, the things he's saying. If he says that God, that there's some sort of messianic thing about the state of Israel, then that's heresy, and all of his Torah has to be nullified.
Right.
Has to be ignored. But if he like bangs his secretary,
right,
and his secretary is married, it's a terrible thing what he did,
right,
but it doesn't affect his Torah.
So there are a lot of Dennis Prager radio shows.
They've got like one CD each, like nobody downloads it.
But they're all just radio shows. I don't want radio shows, I want his lectures. I have any of his lectures. Okay. Dennis Prager said he did not want to become a rabbi because people expect rabbis to say certain things. And he wanted the freedom to say what he wanted. And that's the same reason why I did not become a rabbi.
He also can't become a rabbi because he's not from.
I remember years ago somebody offered to tell me about the biggest shanda of my rabbi at that time that he'd ever committed in exchange for my telling him some shanda about another rabbi. And I told him I didn't want to know. I did not want to know anything bad about my rabbi at that time. And that's kind of remarkable because normally I want to know what it else is.
I think it's a good thing you're not a rabbi, and here's why. Because you would be one of the people that nobody could take seriously, by your own definition. You couldn't take yourself seriously. Because you'd end up schnooky with you'd just be like hitting on every woman in the congregation. You would like say, Wednesday night we're having a special women's shear. We're having a women's group meeting on Wednesday night, and like you'd only invite like one woman to it. You go, well, this is kind of awkward. Well, I'll just give you AT instead. And like one thing leads to another. And you know how they are with the balchuvas with their dresses, when the dresses come flying off. And I
had another good friend who told me the same thing. He said, I think you should become maybe a conservative or a reform rabbi, but you'd be constantly going through the women like a warm knife through butter. I thought, yeah, that's right. So I should never have any authority over women.
Right. I think that'd be deadly.
When I was first pluking, I wanted to know all about the past of my partner in that regard. Like, had she ever been raped, or had she ever been abused, or had she ever been an adulteress, or had she ever taken money for that. But after my third partner, I suddenly realized this was a very bad idea because I could not get those images out of my head. And so I stopped wanting to know things about my partner in this regard. And so as I've aged, I realized there are quite a few things out there that I just don't want to know about.
Yeah, about like the 5 black guys who were with her. I've heard that story.
Wouldn't bother me. So like Andrew Sullivan, he posted this, he's a political commentator and used to be the editor of the New Republic, and he posted this singles ad that said, my killer muscle ass that loves to milk clothes with my power glutes. He was gay. It's like, this is about that story. I just got,
nobody can hear you, dude.
I just got taken seriously. I just don't care about his views on politics or religion or culture or anything. Like, just after that, it's like, I just couldn't get that out of my head. He places killer muscle ass that loves to milk clothes.
Stop. Let me ask you some questions.
Yeah.
Okay, finish laughing at your jokes, and I've got some questions for you.
Okay.
Do you take Dick Morris seriously?
Moderately.
They take him really seriously at Fox News.
Yeah.
Both O'Reilly and Sean Hannity bring him on all the time. They want his expert analysis. He's written several bestsellers. He's considered a political pundit. He's taken very seriously.
Yeah.
And, and do you take him seriously?
Moderately.
15 years ago.
Yeah. He was at a hooker sucking his toes while he was talking to the president.
He wore it. He had a rope around his neck, and she took him, walked him around the hotel room on a leash.
Seems reasonable.
She had she had him on a leash. He was barking like a pup, and
I've never done that.
okay, this hooker, he was married, and he had a hooker in Washington D.C.
He's written children's books with his wife.
Yeah, the book is called Fido the Dog. And it's a first-person account of him on all fours with a collar around his neck and a leash, and this hooker would take him around. So, if you're okay with Dick Morris, and you take him seriously, now there's another one. Let me ask you: you watch basketball, do you not?
Mm-hmm.
What do you think of Marv Albert? Do you take him?
I don't care because it's just sports. Yeah, it's fine.
Do you take him seriously when he's calling from Market Square Arena? Can you take him seriously? Kobe from 30, good, right?
Or what about when it's a gay actress trying to portray a gay, trying to portray a heterosexual character?
Ellen, no, not Ellen hasn't done it. Her partner.
Yeah.
What was her name?
Yeah.
Anne Hesh.
Yeah.
Anne Hesh.
When Get Back, Anne Hesh came out. She had a lead in a movie where she was playing a heterosexual, and then she came out as a gay.
Right. But what do you think of Marv Albert? Do you remember him with the show tunes? Show tunes?
Yeah.
So there you are. I mean,
what about me? Do you think it bothers people that I've done the things that I've done? Do you think that inhibits them from taking my moral thoughts seriously?
I don't know, but I do know that our ratings have tumbled.
What do you mean? We got 6 viewers and they can't even hear anything.
Okay, you know what else? How about this one?
Yeah.
I watched the Lakers.
Yeah, Kobe Bryant.
Okay, but at halftime, all right, when they play, I think it's on when they're, I can't remember which channel. I think it's on KCAL. When they do road games, we go back to at halftime. We go back upstairs, back to the studio, and it's Jim Hill, right, and James Worthy. James Worthy.
Oh, he got arrested.
He got arrested.
Was it underage go?
No, he had 2 hookers.
2 hookers.
They were undercover cops. Right? So, if you can't take some, you know what I mean? It's like you have to turn off the TV. You have to close up everything because a lot of these people have been caught in scandals. Right?
So, could you wouldn't have a problem letting Torah from a rabbi who had been caught fluking his sister?
His sister?
Yeah.
His sister? Has that ever gone down?
I'm sure it has. I can't think of any.
I mean,
or what about a congregant?
Okay, here's how I look.
Well, he was married.
Here's how I look.
Committed adultery with a congregant.
Okay, hold on one second.
Who wanted a divorce. Okay.
Okay. Can I?
Mm-hmm.
Can I?
Mm-hmm.
Oh God. Here's how my take on that. Are you ready?
Yeah.
I just follow the Torah's opinion on that. If he gives a Torah, if he writes something, and it's a halachic something, but I know that he got caught with his pants down.
Yeah.
That doesn't defeat his words, and we still have to learn what he said.
But you don't see he's raging around.
Would I go
mind's eye
to that shul? Probably not, right? Because I just think there's better people for the job. You know what I mean? But if he showed up in the school and he was teaching kids, I mean, I'm not going to complain. Unless, he was caught as being a child molester.
No, he's not a threat. It's in the past.
If he was a child molester,
no. I'm just talking about...
No, but if he had his own business, him and his sister went for the hoochie coo.
Right.
They did the wild thing.
Right.
They did the nasty. Him and his sister, that's between him and...
But you still go to a shul.
That's between him and her. It's got nothing to do with me.
It wouldn't, freak you out. You wouldn't, imagine him... See, when I see someone who's being caught in a sexual shanda, and they're getting up there teaching Torah, I think about them committing the shanda.
Okay, here's the problem where you're coming from. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Again, this is a difference between Judaism and Christianity.
Mm-hmm.
A Christianized way of looking at rabbis is viewing them as priests.
Right.
When they're holier than thou.
Right.
I created a photo a couple of weeks ago on Facebook. I got a lot of laughs from it because they said like the different ways that people view. Okay, the way that a lot of Jews view rabbis is that they treat us like the Pope.
Yeah.
They expect us to be holier than thou, like some sort of godly man on a pedestal.
Yeah.
And then when you don't live up to these irrational expectations, then they say, oh, Shanda, he's only human.
Yeah.
So I can't go to him.
Yeah.
Well, what you're basically saying is you're not looking for a rabbi. You're looking for a pope. You're looking for somebody that you believe is a man with no Yetzer Hara, holier than thou, right?
Yeah.
Just, a perfect specimen. You're looking for Jesus Christ on a stick. You're looking for the Pope. You're looking for a priest. Okay, a rabbi is not that. Torah has a word for somebody who's really holy. That is called a tzaddik.
Yeah.
A rabbi simply means a teacher. It's someone who teaches you halachas, right? It's somebody who teaches, right? Anyone can teach somebody else. Am I right?
Yeah.
The only time you're not allowed to teach is if you're teaching stuff that's not Torah. That would be the case of a heretic.
Right.
But somebody who violates the Torah all over the place, but doesn't violate main things, like they don't bow down to Avodah Zorah, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They can teach Torah. There can still be a teacher, right? But they're not a tzaddik, right? A tzaddik is someone who's holy. So we're confusing the word tzaddik with the word rabbi. And they're not the same. Because the Torah, the Judaism equivalent of the Pope, or the priest, would be the tzaddik. I went to the tzaddik last night to get a bracha. That would be the same as going to the Pope. The tzaddik, I go to, like tzaddik baalei, right? A tzaddik's coming into town, everybody wants to go get a bracha from the tzaddik.
Yeah.
Now the question is this person really a tzaddik? And I'm not going to get into the politics, right? Right?
Yeah.
But if you want to get a bracha from a tzaddik, makes sense. I want to go get a bracha from just a rabbi? Well, I mean, it can't hurt, but it's just a guy who teaches. Right? So the mistake that many Jews make, and they're making it with Christianized concept of rabbis, is expecting rabbis to be holy. Now, I believe that's what your mistake is. And it's because you're Seventh-day Adventist upbringing.
Yeah.
Where, your dad is supposed to be like Moses up there, right?
Yeah.
And you're expected to be Moses if you're the leader of the congregation. But that's a Christianized
What's the difference between Essie and Ellie?
You're not paying them.
I am. I heard you.
I don't know. I have to ask my nephew on that one. but did you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay, so we got that. All right, now go back to the chat room because Talman123 asked me a question.
Okay.
Way up there. Rabs, a lot of rabbis act like that. Rabs, how do you respond to that? Well, I don't know because he won't show me. Go up. Rabs, would you approve someone teaching young children that the rabbi is the Melech HaMashiach? No. Somebody
That's heresy.
says, that's heretical. That is heretical. That's apicorsis, and someone who says apicorsis or believes in apicorsis or whatever, they're not qualified to teach young children, older children, adults, anybody. They can't teach. They can't even be counted into a minyan.
Do you think that we should say relations instead of sex? It's like the frum way is you never say the word sex. You say, husband and wife had relations, or he had relations.
She prepared eggs for him.
I haven't heard that one.
That's what the Talmud says.
Really? But in like the way Orthodox Jews talk today is they don't tend to say sex in public.
Right.
Because
they use that Lashon Naki.
What's that?
Clean language.
Yeah, so instead of, like, you use the F word.
Fuck yeah.
I say sex, but normative Orthodox Jews say relations.
Okay.
So should we try to say relations?
You can if you want.
Like, Ginger Lynn had relations with
a cow, with a horse.
No, she didn't do that stuff. Is it true that if you shave your pubic hair or your armpit hair that it allows evil spirits to enter your body?
What does Rabbi Nachman say?
Rabbi Nachman was a nut. I mean, he had a lot of wise things to say, but he was manic depressive. Like some of the people who follow him. I think this has been a good show, and I'm pretty much...
It's the longest one we've had in a long time.
Yeah. So I'm good. So is there anything you want to say?
No, I
So
wanted to
folks, ask your questions now because we're going to wrap things up.
roll it up a little bit and see if there's anything we missed.
Okay.
Go up to the top. Start at the top. A lot of people left. We only have 5 people. We have like 10.
Scan.
We had like 10. They're,
Scan.
Oh. Lakewood Russ had stopped talking about copyright law.
That was a good segment. I didn't agree with him.
Yeah, well, I said it was boring, but I thought it was good because it brought in Torah.
Yeah.
Brought in Torah.
And it wasn't what people who don't know much expected Torah to say. Talmud 123 is always smoking weed. It's not good. You got to cut that out, man.
Wait, somebody said something. Rabs said something about.
Tell me to scroll up or down.
I don't know because you went so fast, but it was something to do with Rabs said I shouldn't be a rabbi with a question.
Can you call 911? Tell the police to go away.
I did that once.
What was the context? What was the context?
It's similar with the damn helicopter. I said, "Are you guys out of your fucking mind already? It's been like an hour going around there."
This is not exciting for people to watch.
All right, so screw it. I don't know.
Justin says my anthropology professor can hear my thoughts. Do you agree?
It's possible.
Really?
Yeah.
I feel like sometimes a tzaddik they can.
Can I use this thing? Can I just do it right here?
Please.
Can I?
Put it on here.
What's the nafka?
Do what you like.
There was somebody asked a question to Rabbi Rabs.
Okay.
And they said.
So don't take all night because it's boring.
Okay, so go ahead. Say your thing.
Okay, kiddies.
Oh, here it is. Did Talmud want to say I shouldn't be a rabbi? Should I should be a rabbi?
No, Justin.
I didn't. We didn't. Believe it or not, Justin. This show's not about you.
Have you ever tried to study Torah with Justin? Like it's always kind of like, oh, this is about me. Oh, this is about me. Oh, so exhausting. Exhausting. You've tried to do a Torah Talks with Justin.
Oh yeah, we're gonna do another one soon too.
Oh, good luck with that.
Yeah, we're gonna do another one.
I mean,
soon.
I love the guy, but
yeah, he's a great guy.
He's a great guy, but he's very tiring. Very tiring.
Stay off the grass and stay in your shoe. Okay, so here's what's going on, folks who are my fans. I got a video coming out this week. If my nephew can get his act together and call me, finally, we're making a comedy video this week that should be released, and I think I'm going to be doing my own solo show before the next time we meet.
Great.
Because I want to do one for Purim. So that's what I have coming up yonder. And then what do you got going? Well, how's your job going? You didn't even say anything about your job.
Well, I spoke to some psychotherapists about the Alexander technique last Friday, and I walked all the way into Westwood to do it.
Okay.
I didn't want to spend money on gas. So it was like a 10-mile schlep, and I did it. And
Did you,
I had a good,
did you bring a Ralph's bag with you?
No, but I did pop into a McDonald's to make a pit stop.
And weren't you the one
took
saying...
my yarmulke off.
Oh, well, you took the yarmulke off. Okay, because you were the one...
But I didn't. I was too lazy to tuck my seat in.
So let me see if I got this straight. 2 years ago, you sat here going, "Oh, Achil Hashem," they go in there with their tzitzis and their towels, and then you go in there yourself.
Right.
Okay, got it. So do double standard.
Yeah.
When other people...
Well, it was to relieve myself. It wasn't to...
I just bring a Ralph's bag with me from now on. That's what I would do. All right.
In the middle of the street?
Gotta do what you gotta do, yeah. So what happened from that? From the...
Nothing so far.
Okay.
So things are looking pretty grim. I'm eating a lot of oatmeal and eating a lot of beans. My doctor... I have a doctor who told me to take Metamucil a couple of times a day because it helped me reduce my cholesterol.
Okay.
But boy, did that give you gas. It's like, whoa. Okay, kids, stay off the grass, stay off the crack, stay in yeshiva.
All right, good show.